This conference will now be recorded.
Okay, so today we will be talking about some small shortcuts that we need to know, like when you are selecting the data and everything. So it's always not very easy to do with everything with the key with the mouse. What we can do is we can take the help of the cursor or the keyboard for doing that. Okay, so keyboard shortcuts. So basically, for example, this is the data. Okay, let's say I have something like this data. So let me clear all the validation rules. Okay, so now for example I have this data. Okay, so if at all I want to move, okay, so if at all I want to move, uh, so first of all, for example, I'm selecting some of the data. Okay, so some of the cell, and if I say control A, now for example, if I am having cursor here and if I'm saying control A, so all the data will be selected. Okay, so this is a simple one that we know. uh, Control A, if you are pressing once, all of them will be selected. If you control A one more time, Excel will select all the sheet. Okay, now for example, here if I'm saying control A, if I'm once again saying control A, so all the Excel sheet will be selected. Okay, so one control A will select only the data, and another control A again will select all the page. Okay, so we'll select all the page. So that is what you need to know. Okay, right, so that's the first thing. Then if you want to copy, definitely we can use control C, and if you want to use if we want to paste, you can use control V. Okay, so you can use control V, so control C and control V. Okay, so these are the things that you need to know as a part of the, so a part of our uh, selection. Okay, so selection, and you're copying and pasting. Okay, so that things you know. So if you want to undo some operation, you can do control Z. Okay, so now for example you want to move the data. So if you want to move the data here, okay, so suppose for example if I want to uh, move the cursor, rather I should say. So if I want to move the cursor, so for example if I'm selecting here, so I can just like select you the arrow keys, as you can see. And suppose if I'm using select, sorry, shift, all my data will be selected. Okay, so as usual, you can go for uh, right side, left side, and all. So this is the way you can use the uh, keyboard. Okay, so you can use the keyboard. So if you are using shift, so you are going to select like this, shift and down. So if you are using shift and right, so you can select this. Okay, so like this you can go for. Okay, so and you can also go for the formulas. Now for example, if I am, suppose if I want to add, okay, so if I want to add these two, okay, so I can just say alt equal to, so alt equal to will give you what, it will give you the addition of these two. Okay, so I did not write any formula here. Okay, I'm using the okay, so I'm just using this and I'm just stretching it down, and I'm saying alt equal to, so alt equal to, so it is giving me, so alt equal to is giving me the sum of these two things. Okay, so in that way you can do the sum. Okay, so same thing, suppose now again, if you can just drag with the help of the uh, mouse. Okay, so you can get the whole things here. Okay, so in this way, so you are going to get the shortcuts done. Okay, so that's how you can go for the shortcuts basically. Okay, so alt plus E command. Okay, alt plus E, which will give you the formula. Okay, okay, so then if you want to get it, like again you go for shift. Okay, so shift, you have to say two times. Okay, so what I'm trying to say here is, okay, so here So now again I'll do it. So here I'm saying alt equal to, and now for example, if we are going for shift, so two times. Okay, once again. So shift and press this two times. Okay. So shift hold on F2 and press. Okay. Press the arrow two times rather. Okay. Yeah, just hold on a moment. Yeah. So once again I'll tell you what to do here. So I can just select this. So shift. So I can say Control D. Okay. So Control D means all the things will come into the picture. Okay. So in this way, I can go for the options. Okay, so options for doing this. Okay, so again, if you want to do the same things, so control one will give you the format. Okay, so control one will give you the format, and you can select the format whatever you want. Okay, so dollars or any amount or anything, so you can just do that. Okay, so in this way you can go for it. So again, saving and everything, you know it already. Okay, next very important thing is protecting the worksheet. So whenever you want to protect your worksheet, if you want to protect your worksheet, so what you have to do is, so you have to generally go for save as option, and here in the tools you have to select the general options. Okay, so general options, and you have a password to open. So that password to open, you can just click it on, and you can give your password. Okay, so let me do it once again. So file, go ahead, save as. So go to downloads. Okay, so save it somewhere. Okay. So okay, so save it somewhere. Here I want to save data analytics. I want to save it as Excel format. So go to the tools, go to the general options, and password to open. Okay, so let's say 12345 6. Say okay. So say okay. Okay, re-enter the password. So 12345 6. Say okay. So and save this. Now for example, if I want to open this, okay, so I'll just go here. So I can just go to Excel form. So when I'm trying to open that Excel form, now you can see it is asking me to give the password. Okay, so let me open, close the other things, other Excels. So Excel form I'm trying to open. So when I'm trying to open it, it is asking me to give the password. Okay, 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so say okay. So now you can see this is password protected. This file is password protected. So how we have done this once again. So let me close this again. So suppose if I want to, okay, so this is password protected. So security. So here, so you can click on edit. Okay. So now for example, I will have this. Okay, so 1 2 3 4 5 6. Okay, so if I just want to, okay, so tool general options, so I can delete the password like this. Okay, if at all you want, say okay. So there is no password. So if there is no password, we can, okay, so how to save it as password? So file, save as, select one folder, go to the tools, go to general options, give the password, say okay, re-enter the password and say okay. So save it. So you want to replace it, done. Okay, so in this way you are going to do this. Okay, so that's how you are trying to deal with, so you are trying to deal with the password protection. Okay, so password protection, so this is how you are going with the password protection. So this is the way that we have the password protection. And the, okay, so next we are going to see some functions. So count and some functions. Okay, so first count. So what is count here? So counting means I want to get the count of all these values. Okay, so I want to get the count of all these values. Okay, so if you want to count blank cells and non-blank cells, you can use these formulas. Okay, so count blank and non-blank cell, use count blank also, and count a also you can use. Okay, now for example, I'll take another sheet here. Okay, so here I will have, okay, so now I want to count these values. Okay, in order to count these values, so I can use a function called count. Okay, so how to use is equal to, so count of, I can just use this and I will get the count. Okay, so I'll get the count. Now for example, I want to use, okay, so I want to use count blank. Okay, so count blank, so from here to here. So count blank is also 6. Why? Because it is giving me the blank count values. Okay, so count blank, count blank. Okay, so in this way you can go for the count. So non count, you can go for a also, and you can go for this also. Okay, next, so countif function. What does the countif function tell you? Countif function will give you an option. Now from all these values, I want to count only the values which are greater than 9. Okay, so the count of values which are, okay, so count if, so to count if, so what is the function here? Count if, and you have to select the range, and in that range you can put a criteria. Okay, you can put a criteria. Okay, so count if, say a1 to a5, you put a criteria here. Okay, so in that way you can, okay, so now how to go for the formulas? So go to special means, you will get the formula. So where are the formulas? Here and here are the formulas. Now I want to take off this formula. Okay, so and just update this formula too. count if d5 to d10. Okay, so d5 to d10. So I want to go for greater than or equal to 5. So greater than or equal to 5. So this is greater than or equal to 5, which is going to be two values only. So this one and this one. Okay. So that is count if for you. Okay, count if. Okay. So right. So next count ifs. So what is count ifs basically? So count ifs are nothing but select multiple criteria. Okay, multiple criteria in the sense. Now for example, okay, so here there is a data red 10, green 1, red 7, green 20, red 3. Now I want to select from A1 to A5. I want to select green. Okay. And in B1 to B5, I want to select greater than 9. Okay. So here it should be green and it should be greater than 9. Okay. So both the combination have to be selected. Okay. So both the combination have to be selected. So it should be green. Okay, green one, this is not selected. Why? Because this criteria is not matching. Okay, next green 20. So this criteria is matching. Okay, why this is not matching? It is greater than 9 but it is not green. That is why it is not matching. It is green but this is not greater than 9. Though this is red, this is 7, not matching. Okay, green 20. So what about all this? Multiple combination. Okay, multiple combination. Then what it is checked by? It is checked by count ifs. Count ifs. Okay, so now let's go for an example. Same example, I can just write it. So red, so green, blue, again green, again red, and I will say pink. Okay, so now I want to write count ifs. Count ifs. Okay, so count ifs. So count ifs. So first criteria is this. Okay. So first criteria is going to be this. Okay, and so what it should be? It should be green. Okay, it should be green. And the second criteria is this one. This should be okay. You can use mouse or you can use keyboard also, no problem. So greater than. So it should be greater than or equal to 5. So greater than or equal to 5. Okay, so here extra this. Okay, so here you got 1. Why you got 1? So here red 5. So c5 to c10 green. Okay, not matching. Okay, so c5 to c10 green, d5 to d10 2. 2 means not greater than or equal to 5. So blue not matching with this. Okay, green matching with this, and d1 to d5 greater than or equal to 5 matching. So this is selected one. Okay, so here is red not matching, pink not matching. So we have only one. So in this way you are looking at the count ifs function. Okay, so count ifs function. So what is the count ifs function will tell you? Count ifs function will tell you okay. So countifs value will give you what? It will give you multiple selection. Okay, it will give you multiple selection. So then carrying moving forward, we have a sum function. So we have a sum function. So sum we already did so many times. So sum function will give you the sum of the things. But when you look at sum if, what does the sum if tell you? So sum if will tell you uh, the criteria. Okay, so some people tell you the criteria. Criteria of B1 to B5, which should be greater than 9. Okay, means only 10 and 20 will be selected. Why 10 and 20 will be selected? Because out of this B1 to B5, so B1 to B5, we are asking greater than 9. We are asking greater than 9. Okay, so same thing. Okay, so this one I'll remove now, and here I'll say sum, sum if. Okay. So I will say sum if, and I will go for all this, and I will give the criteria. So the criteria greater than or equal to 5. Okay, greater than or equal to 5. So simply, so 5 and 9. Okay, so these are the two values that are getting added. Because what is our formula? Our formula is d5 uh, colon d10 is greater than or equal to 5. So in that way, you are going to, okay. So so in this way, you are going to have, so d14 to, sorry, d10 to d14. Okay, so d5 to d10. So d5 to d10 greater than or equal to 5. So in this way, you are going to take the things into consideration. Okay, right. So that is sum if. So sum if, and then sum ifs. So what is sum ifs will tell you? So sum ifs will tell you that, so multiple C1 to C5 and A1 to A5 are circle. Okay, and B1 to B5 are red. Okay, so add only C's. Okay, so C1 to C5, where A1 to A5 is circle and B1 to B5 is red. Okay, sum of C1 to C5, but depending on what criteria? Depending on what criteria? So depending on A1 to A5 being circle and B1 to B5 being red. Okay, so B1 to B5 being red. So what happens here? So C1 to C5 you are adding, and A1 to C1 to C5, A1 to A5 circle, B1 to B5 red. Okay, so we'll just prepare the data in such a way. So here I'll say circle square. Okay, sorry, circle red, and here I'll say triangle green. So triangle green, then I'll say circle red. Okay, then circle green. Okay, then triangle red. Okay, so now what do I need now? So I need some ifs. What I want to add? I want to add, so okay, just take off all these things. So sum ifs d1 to d9, where is going to be circle, is going to be circle. Okay, and c5 to c9 going to be red. Going to be red. So just use the double quotes instead of single quotes. Okay, so 6. So what are the things getting added here? D5 to D9, where B5 to B9 is circle. So this is qualified. So this is qualified and this is qualified. So 5. And triangle not qualified because it is circle. Okay. So then green. Okay. Next. So circle. So circle B5 to B9. Okay. And C5 to C9 is red. Okay. So this is also selected. So circle and this is green. So this green is nothing but, so green is nothing but what? The not selected color. So in this way you are going to have the things. Okay, so that's how we are going for the sum ifs. So in the same way you also have the average ifs. Okay, suppose if I am just copying this operation and keeping it over here. Okay, I can just copy this thing and okay, my cursor positioning is a problem here. So let me copy this. So let me copy this first and leave it and let me paste it here. Okay, so I'll just take it off this. Okay, so now that's the problem, it will be so quick. Okay, so 6. Now I will say average ifs. Okay, so average ifs. So you can use the same thing, average if, average ifs, you can use the same thing. So average ifs. So here extra thing has come. So 3. So 6 divided by 2 is 3. So that's the way we can focus on the things. Okay, so that's how you are dealing with the average. Okay, so dealing with the average. Okay, so dealing with the average. So that's how you are working with the things, right? Okay, so that's how we are working with. Okay, next is logical functions. So what are the logical functions? So we have if, and, or, and not. So these are going to be the logical functions. Okay, right. So first we have a data where you have name, score, and result. Okay, so name, score, and result. So just we will input the name and score. Okay, and then we'll write a if function. Okay, so what is the point here? If b2 is greater than equal to 60, b2 is greater than or equal to 60, pass or fail. Okay, so b2 greater than or equal to 60, so this Jennifer is pass. Okay, Lisa is pass and Richard is pass because they are having greater than or equal to 60. Okay, okay, so now we will load this data. Okay, let me just clear up the rings. So name, score, and result. Okay, so Richard 93. So Richard is 93, Jennifer 60, James 58, Lisa. So Lisa 79, Sharon 41. Okay. So now we have to write the result. So I don't have to manually enter these details. I have to use a if logic. Okay. So what does if logic takes? If logic takes a condition. Okay, so condition. Okay, if c1 to c6 to c10. Okay, So we want, okay, otherwise we can take only this and we can uh, do the extension also. Okay, if b6 sorry c6 greater than 60, or I should say greater than or equal to 60. Okay, so you give pass, you give pass, otherwise you give fail. So otherwise you give fail. Okay, so pass or fail. So as you know, we can just use the shift and you can use control D. Okay, so control D. So for all these values, your pass or fail will be coming. Okay, so in that way you are going to take the things into consideration. Okay, so this is the result. Okay, so this is the result. Okay, so this is the result of the, okay, you can make the all borders also. This is the result. So how you did this, again I'll tell you. So here I'm having if logic. So what does if logic tell you? If logic will have, okay, so score, okay, greater than or equal to 60, you give him pass. So you give him pass. Okay, otherwise you give him fail. You give him fail. Okay, so like this. And again, what I need to do, I can go for the shift. I can say control D. Okay, so I can say control D. So control D, and I can go for the values. Okay, so that's the way we are going to uh, work with the if logic. Okay, so whenever you are trying to have the if logics, so you can go for it. Okay, so these are the simple if things, and then you have and. So what does and means? So and means multiple. Okay, so multiple in the sense, you know, for example, so if in both of them is scoring good, so give the result. Okay, so give the result as uh, uh, now for example, if he is scoring good in both. Okay, so if he's scoring good in both and this score 1 and score 2. Okay, so score 1 and score 2, give him pass. Okay, so like that. Okay, so here true or false means the results of the condition. Okay, so results of the condition. Okay, we will just try to write it in a different way now. Okay, so for this what I'll do is I will insert another column. Okay, so score 1 I will say, and here I'll say score 2. So here I will say 32. So here I will say 59. Okay, so here I will say 74. Here I'll say 31. Here I'll say 66. Okay. Now my point is if, okay, so if I should use here and. So what does and will tell me? And will check both. So if C6 greater than 60, comma, so D6 greater than or equal to 60. So both of them should be equal to 60. And means both of them. So both of them should be greater than or equal to 60. Otherwise, you will get this result. Okay, so so then I'll say control D. So all of them are failed because, so this is 93, 32 fail. Okay, because at least uh, this one of them should be, I mean both of them should be more than 60. Okay, more than 60, right? So in that way you can see one of them. So 93 greater than 60 but 32 less than, this is equal but less than. Okay, so this is, okay, so in this way you are going to get that. So this is and result. Now for example, you are going for the or result. Or result means if any one of it is 60, if any one of it is 60, okay, if any one of it is 60, so you have to pass. Okay, so what I can do here, I can say okay, same thing I can copy here also, but it is also failed, but here I'll use or. Okay, so now I got pass. Why? Because if any of them, okay, so if any of them, so if any of them is greater than 60, pass it. Okay, so if any of them is greater than 60, pass them. So one of the subject is less than, okay, don't worry. So if any one of them is greater than 60, pass, otherwise you fail. Now for example, this guy got 71, so he's pass here also, he's pass here also. Okay, so in that way you can. Okay, so for example, you want to have the results for the next students also. Let's say now as you don't have the values here, so it will come like that. Now for example, you want to, okay, so let's say these are some students, so you are just giving them marks like this, so 58, 34. Okay, now you see fail and pass automatically they are coming. Okay, because we just dragged them. Okay, so we just dragged them, okay, up to here. Okay, so we just dragged them up to here. So now for example 61 and 69. Okay, 69. Okay, so now you can see pass and pass. Okay, so in that way you are going to get the details filled automatically. So how the details are filled? Because you copied the formula and dragged it up. Okay, so in that way you are going to get the information. Okay, so that's how you are going to take it. Okay, so that's how you are going to take it. So you fill up the values, so definitely these are going to be changed. Okay, so 77 and 77 for example, so it is going to be pass. So for all this data that happens, so this is what is the and or functions. Okay, so and or functions, so and or functions are useful for this. Okay, so and finally, if you look at the not function, so what does the not function tell you? So not function will tell you the opposite result. Okay, so opposite result in the sense, so I want to have the opposite of the given result. Okay, now for example, I want to have the opposite of this. Okay, so opposite of and opposite or opposite. Okay, or opposite. So and opposite and or opposite. Now for example, if I am saying okay, again I'll copy the formula. Okay, so the formula is copied, and here I'll say not, not, so not of. Okay, so okay, so otherwise I can say not of. One second, we are using it correctly, right? So here, so I'm having this. Okay, so not of, So I'm using not of and. So generally it should be 90 and 32 means it is uh, fail. So fail means this should be opposite. Yeah, pass. Correct. So now if you just drag it up to here, so you can see the opposite result. So fail, pass, fail, pass, fail, pass, fail, pass, pass, fail, fail, pass. Okay. And if you go for the opposite of this, so this would be okay. So again, this would be not of, not of this. Okay. So not of this. Oh, sorry. I will just copy this over here. Okay. So here I will say not of or. So not of or. So not case sensitive. You can have anything. So opposite of this. Okay. So opposite of this. So you can see the opposite results. So pass, fail, pass, fail, pass, fail. So this is how you can deal with the logical operations. Okay. So logical operations. So these are the things that I have to give you today. And as I told you, practice is important. So please practice. So without practice, if you are coming to the class also, it is not worth it. So practice all the problems. I'll send you the notes right away. So practice them. Then only you will be able to get it. Okay. Right. So thank you. Thank you so much for joining. Thank you. Bye.